Hello and welcome back to the On the Slab Horror Show, the show that we bring to you each and every Friday night. Why we do this on a Friday night? Because Friday night is horror night. My guest here, being from the UK, might probably be too young to remember the Friday night movies. Do you remember the 10 o'clock Watershed ending and Channel 4 used to put out the free to air horror movies?
Well, I'm not from here. I'm from Norway, so we didn't have that. We had pizza or taco Fridays.
When did you move to the UK?
I moved here like 4.5 years ago now. So this is my
Never,
fifth year being
never,
here.
never mind.
No, so yeah, never
That,
mind.
that one ends that.
I learned
Um,
something new though.
Yeah, they used to put on all the classics on Channel 4 at 10 o'clock once the watershed ended. It was awesome.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. But as you can see, our guest tonight is, well, as she said, she's from Norway. So that's a first. uh, but if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we had Owen on talking about the RIP Man short that he done. Well, this is the lead actress from the feature length that is due out. This is actress Jasmine Kheen. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. It's lovely to be on here.
After all the technical issues we had tonight before this started, we finally got
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And obviously, thanks for taking the time out of your night to come on because obviously we're in the same time zone for a change.
Yeah.
uh,
No, of course.
um, but yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in acting?
Yeah. So yeah. So as I mentioned, I'm from Norway originally, and I did a little bit of like, children's theater and stuff, and I've always been quite creative, did dance and everything. And then I moved to Spain for a little bit, and I think I was very much in between like going to the army or doing acting, and then something got messed up with like my address. I never got like the letter that I needed to like fully sign up for like the tests and stuff. And then I got into acting school, so I was like, okay, well, life's just chosen for me. And so I moved to the UK and I studied at Met Film School and I got a bachelor in screen acting. And since then, I've just been, pursuing my dream, I guess. I've done a lot of short films. I'm currently writing my own project, which hopefully will be produced within the next few years. We'll see. And then I'm
Nice.
also an assistant to producers. I do a little bit in front of the camera, a little bit of behind the camera. And yeah.
I suppose that's the best way to do it though, because you're going to learn different things off different people, whether it be on screen on how to do things. Some producers will tell you want it this way or that way. Then from behind the
Mm.
screen, you learn every different way to do everything else.
100%. I think it's so important, and that's what I really appreciated doing. That's why I wanted to do a screen acting specific course, because not because there's anything wrong with theater, and I'd love to do theater at some point, but I knew I wanted to be more geared towards film in my career. And I think learning about, because we had to learn about the whole filmmaking process of it from the very beginning to the very end. And so we got to try out a lot of different like crew roles and um, learn a lot about film development and stuff like that. Um, and so I think I found different niches within film that I really enjoyed. And I don't think you have to do just one thing. I think nowadays it's really like a benefit if you do multiple things.
Well, a lot of our guests now would be relatively popular on the indie scene and stuff, and you hear that quite a lot. Everyone kind of does everything and helps out with
Mm,
from sound to holding, not maybe not holding the camera. That might be a bit of a specific one, but like helping out with everything, special effects and things like that. So learning all those things is definitely quite important to helping you along.
oh, 100%. I think, and especially in, the indie scene and when you don't have as much budget or people to work with, it's like everyone sort of has to get together and like make it work. And if you do have like knowledge in different aspects of the process, then that's obviously very helpful.
Absolutely. Like as I said, we've had guests on who's the main actress, and she'd be doing special effects behind the scenes and everything. So,
Yeah, that's it.
um, although the people that do special effects are just ridiculous, some
Oh
of the
yeah.
things they can do. I don't care.
No,
I don't care if
it's
you can be a talented actress, but the special effects thing is just amazing to watch.
No, it genuinely is. I have a couple of friends working in it, and it's like I'm so just like impressed by what they managed to do.
And, like I can't,
It's
I couldn't even draw a straight line, let alone figure out how to make someone's face explode.
yeah, no, it's so creative and it's such a like fun job to have as well. And I feel like that's you get a lot of space to do that within horror films, and especially like when you don't have a lot of budget, it forces you to be so creative. And so that's what I really do like about indie horror. And I do feel like audiences really appreciate indie horror films because they have to be so creative. And a lot of bigger horror films nowadays, I feel like they follow a very set, not manual, but like
Yep.
a recipe or like, yeah, and it's just sort of predictable because they can't take these risks or they don't have to force themselves to be as creative or like they can't, they're not allowed.
So
Um,
we've actually said that recently on a podcast. They follow the same formula
yeah,
to an
formula, that's the
extent.
word I'm looking for.
To an extent, they follow that
Yeah.
formula of okay, so they're not quite as bad as the tropes of the '80s, which were great, by
Mm,
the way. Not, I don't mean bad in a way where obviously you had, say, the group of six people, you'd have the couple that have sex, they get killed. You have
mm,
the stoner, he gets killed. You have the lead actress, and then you've got probably the bitchy friend. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like there was that formula, and then of course you'd have the black guy who gets killed as well because
of course.
that was just the rules.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, it was probably the rules, but there was a few that survived.
Well, not very often. I think that's why it's like a running joke now,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Um,
Yeah.
but with indie horror, I found now I will you mentioned there that the audiences appreciate it. Only horror fans will probably appreciate it. Because no one will want to
Mm,
give indie a chance, which is unfortunate because the work that goes into it is abnormally higher because obviously there's a smaller crew, there's less of a budget, so they have to make things work. Like my missus
yeah.
wouldn't be a huge horror fan. She'd watch them with me, but if I sat down and put on an indie film, she's not going to watch it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I do get that as well, and
I tried to get her
it's
to watch Terrifier,
yeah.
and I got 20 minutes in, hadn't even got into the abandoned warehouse yet, and she's like, "No, I'm done." I was like,
She was like, "This is not for me."
"Yeah,
Well, to be fair, Terrifier is a very like it's a very slasher.
yeah."
Like it is a slasher as a slasher can be. So I get that that's not for everyone, but I feel like Terrifier is a good example of like recent indie horror that has done really well, and like the Winnie the Pooh franchise as well.
Had a couple of guests on from that actually. We had Craig David Dowsett on who played Winnie the Pooh in the original one,
Oh, that's awesome.
and we had Natasha Ticini who was in the first one as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's sick. And I
Craig
feel
is sound.
yeah, no, because that's the thing. Like, I feel like
So
it's
was
getting more
Natasha.
appreciated because I feel like people are getting tired. You know?
I think that market though has been oversaturated. Um,
Mm.
since a lot of stuff came to the public domain, now we've seen Popeye.
Oh yeah, I have a
Popeye the
friend who
Slayer
plays in
Man.
that actually. Yeah.
Um, then there's the Bambi one coming out. There's the Pooh universe coming out. Do you know what I mean? So like
Yeah,
there
exactly.
is
There's a
a
lot.
market for it. But like oversaturation might be a bit of a problem in indie horror.
It could be. I mean, we've yet to see, I guess, because like I feel like it's something that's like just happening now. But it is funny you say with Popeye. I think if I'm not mistaken, Bruno, who plays Jaden in the R.I.P. Man, I think he's in Popeye as well. So this can
Oh.
be fun to see. Yeah.
I just seen it pop up there on one of the things. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't even know the cast of it. I know Sarah Nicklin's in it.
Mm.
Hold on. There's two Popeye movies coming out.
Oh, there's two.
One is an American one.
Oh yeah, no, it's not that one, I don't think.
Popeye the Slayer Man.
Probably it. I'm not too sure. He did
Uh,
mention something about it though, but he
it's
supposed to be,
I
which is
I thought
cool.
it was great and like when
Mm.
like the world blew up when it came out that Winnie the Pooh was coming out as a horror movie.
Yeah, I know.
And it's great to see because it gives a platform for people to get out into the world and be like, look what we can do with 100 grand or 200 grand.
100%. And then imagine what we could do with an even bigger budget.
Like,
I think it's really funny because like Winnie the Pooh, when I was like 9 and I was like watching horror movies by myself, I'd always have to watch some Winnie the Pooh after just because it was like the least scary thing I could think of. And now they've just gone ahead and ruined it.
you fucked it up.
They fucked it up.
Yeah. Now I actually like I know I've actually collected Craig and brought him to a con over here and
Mm,
stuff. He's such a nice guy. Like you just wouldn't put him down as being Winnie the Pooh.
yeah.
Um,
It's often like that, isn't it? Like Owen, who is the RIP man, like he's such a sweet, like gentle guy
he's
when
a
you speak to him, yeah. But then obviously in the film he goes ballistic.
yeah. So we might as well jump straight into the RIP man. Obviously, like
Yeah.
it's the big one that's coming out for yourself relatively soon.
Mm.
Well, hopefully relatively soon. I'm hoping we'll get a chance to see it when it does come out. Um, but obviously we had on a couple of weeks ago there, and we talked about the short. So before we jump into the feature film that you're going to be in, what did you make of the short?
Sure. I thought it was like really well done. I think it's really good and like it just grabs your attention immediately and you're immediately hooked on whatever's happening. I think it's really well shot. The acting was really good. And so we got to see that before when we were like offered the parts and everything, they sent the Indiegogo page and everything. So we got to have a look at that. And yeah, no, I thought it was great.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it now. I thought it looked a bit different. I thought the RIP man himself looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um, it left you with an intrigue of wanting to know more. Um,
exactly. Because
that
the short is basically the first couple of scenes of the film,
yeah,
or first scene of the film.
yeah, I'd heard that. Now, Alan had said that to me. Is that that's going to be the
Mm.
opening of it, and I was like, Jesus,
It's a good opening, isn't it?
it's a very Scream kind of feel opening, isn't it? Like you have a big kill scene early,
Yeah.
um, and like that's perfect. That sets the tone up for the movie. Obviously, Scream was went on to be ridiculously good even after that, but
Yeah.
no one expected that to happen when Drew Barrymore was in the scene at the start.
Mm.
Like I said to Owen, that house they filmed in was phenomenal.
The house, like the way they used the layout
Hmm.
of it worked so well. Um, and like the way they shot it to where it like looked like one, or was it one continuous shot at one point? Like it was just like they were really creative with it. And the film, The RP Man is definitely like inspired by Scream, but obviously has a very like different killer and it's set in the UK.
Which I also had to ask because that house did not look
Yeah.
like it belonged in the UK. And the view,
No.
the view when she's
No, it
on the
actually
balcony,
didn't. It actually didn't, did
I
it?
think they said Brighton or somewhere like that.
Yeah, so we were shooting around we were shooting near Brighton. As we were shooting in like Worthing, which is a little bit off Brighton. But yeah, so no, it's definitely like Scream inspired, but set in the UK. A little bit of a different type friend group. And with all the different like oh my Alexa is telling me to go to bed.
Thanks, Alexa.
Thanks. No shush. Um Yeah, no. So, I mean, obviously, so the RIP man, he has this like dental condition where he's born with no teeth, and it's called anodontia, and it's very rare. Um, but basically, so one of his tropes that he does with his kills is that he pulls out the victim's teeth.
No,
So
no,
it's, yep, yep. So it's
no,
quite grotesque.
no. Don't like the dentist. No.
Exactly. That's what that's like the number one reaction I've been getting after saying that. I think it's a really creative killer because I haven't really seen that before, and it's like the teeth and dentist thing of it all is like something that so many people are scared of, me included. Like it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think. Um, Reese did a really good job with writing the characters and all.
Yeah, so like obviously I haven't seen the movie. I don't know anything about it other than the
Mm.
opening short that I'd seen. The death scene in that opening short though was rough as fuck. Like when he's dragging her
Oh
down
yeah.
the staircase, the glass sided staircase was awesome.
Mm.
Yeah,
No, it was really well done. You can definitely expect some more fun scenes like that.
yeah, I
They're
gotta throw
very
the spoil.
creative.
I gotta
Yeah.
throw the spoiler out there. People will die in this movie. Surprise,
People
surprise.
will die. Surprise, people will die in a slasher film. That's
Who'd have thought?
who would have thought?
Uh,
No, well, so basically it follows this friend group who is getting hunted by this killer, and there's a detective on the case, and they're sort of just trying to figure out who this killer is, and obviously they want to stop him before they can get to them all. And it deals with, themes of abandonment and but also with like friendship and coming together. But it also deals with like the current healthcare crisis as well.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So
I think it touches a
little
little
bit
bit
of
on.
political in there.
Yeah, I think so. And I think every horror movie does, like, even like the silliest ones usually have something that they're trying to say, or they're like, or with the villains, there's always a deeper issue,
Yeah, okay, I could
I
see that.
think.
A man's born with no teeth.
Yeah, well, like it is interesting to look into, like, why is he doing what he's doing? Um, and I think when someone's like pushed to a certain level and they're constantly like rejected and not getting the help they need or not looked after, I think that can do a lot to people. I did psychology A level, and it was really interesting when we were looking at like criminal psychology, because a lot of the time you can understand why they did, or like how they ended up where they did. You can't excuse it, but you can sort of understand what's gotten them to the point of like doing their offense or crime.
Turning into Clarice Starling now, are you?
Am I?
That went over your head, did it?
Yeah, they totally did. I was about to
That's
ask, who is Clarice Starling?
from Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, of course. Oh no, that's
For shame.
embarrassing.
For
Oh
shame.
gosh.
And it's
Oh
on camera.
gosh. Embarrassing. Might as well
Yeah.
quit right
Yeah.
now.
Game over.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, but it is that, like, you can put yourself into, like, there's always like a reason, whether it's like um you have the whole like nature versus nurture debate, but I think it's always like a little bit of both.
Well, I suppose when you look back, nearly all killers are there is some of that. They've either
Yeah,
been pushed too far, but then again, there are the exceptions to the rule where they just don't care.
exactly. And that's always interesting to see, because that could be like some sort of like um gene difference, DNA difference, like, but a lot of child psychology as well. I find child psychology, like developmental psychology, very interesting, because like how you are today is so shaped by how your first couple years was in this world.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah. No, that's what I like about, these characters as well, and even in horror films, whether they're supposed to be deep and serious or they're supposed to be lighthearted and funny, um, there are always characters like that where you can go into and truly understand them and why they are the way they are, by going back and back and back into their lives and figure out, okay, what's happened to this person, you know?
So I'll put one to you then, right? If you're watching a horror film you've never seen before, right? Doesn't matter what
Mm,
it is. Just say, for instance, Nightmare on Elm Street,
mm.
right? Who are you rooting for in that film?
Well, it's like, it's a complicated question, because I mean, in certain films, like say like The Nun, you're just thinking like, oh, the nun's just,
That
like,
was
fuck her, fuck that bitch,
awful,
basically. I mean, yeah,
absolutely
but
awful movie.
yeah. But basically, if you're just watching it for like the spooky vibes, like sure, but it's not a great film at all. But
Love the
like
Conjuring though.
The Conjuring, of course. And Nightmare on Elm Street, it's like I guess you can kind of like understand him a little bit. You feel a little bit bad for him.
See, I it doesn't matter. I just went with that one because that's my favorite horror film,
Mm,
right?
it's
And
a
one
good
of my
one.
it's one of my favorite films of all time.
Mm,
Um, like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Scream. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what slasher film I'm watching. I'm always rooting for the bad guy. Always.
are you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
always. Because they're either tormenting him, they're
yeah,
either in his land. So
yeah.
I never looked too much into it to that point where you're going, well, obviously there are movies when there's more of a complex and it comes out in the film
Mm.
where you watch the likes of American Psycho and Patrick Bateman's just going off the rails and you're like, what
Oh
is
yeah.
apart from the
So,
cocaine, what has got you so fucked up?
oh, 100%. But it's like this train wreck you can't look away from. But
That's
it's like
to
it's
me
genuinely like you're just a psychopath.
that's Christian Bale's best role.
No, obviously. I
Yeah,
mean, hands down. It was he did such a good job with that one. It's such an iconic one that loved by so many people.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
I never tend to look too much into characters like that. Obviously, it's different for yourself because you're obviously playing the character, so you want to get the mindset correct. Otherwise, it probably doesn't come across on screen as well. But
Mm,
for me, yeah, I never look too much into it. Bad guy kills people, usually dies at the end. Grand,
yeah. God,
and
that's what we want.
and
No,
I
but
enjoy the ride along the way.
yeah, that's what you want from a horror movie, though. And I think a good villain is a villain you can understand why they're a villain. Like it
Yeah,
adds depth to them. Because I don't know, I feel like if they're just like if you have no understanding of their motivation behind the murders, it's like, okay, well, why should I care then? You want to be
yeah,
invested.
like take obviously we go to the big ones again. Nightmare on Elm Street, right? He was a bad guy as a human. They burned him alive, and now he's
Mm,
torturing, right?
yeah.
Halloween, Mike Myers as a kid walks in on his sister having sex, and that sends him over the edge. Not really a reason to go on a 40-year killing spree. So there's more to that
Might
one.
have been really traumatizing.
I imagine it probably is, but
Yeah.
sure, such is life.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
But that's a really interesting thing as well, because some people just don't deal with life really well. Um, and you see that in a lot of people, and you can fall into like sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy where you're just like down in this like deep, dark spiral where um you can't really get out of it. And then I just sort of lost my train of thought there. But yeah, basically people can just get stuck in this like downward spiral, and if they're stuck in that, there's nothing you can do to really help them. They have to like pull themselves out of it, and that some people don't and some people do. And I feel like the people who don't, they're just like destined to either do something bad or just like be miserable for the rest of their lives, because at some point you can only help yourself, you know? And it's all about perspective and yeah.
well, that's definitely one way of looking at it. And
Yeah.
and in the words of the great Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park, life finds a way.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Um, but in terms of the RIP man, obviously I don't want you to go too much into details because I want to see it on screen when it comes out for the first time and
Mm,
not know uh sort of anything other than the opening scene, the girl dies, because that's available to see.
mm.
Um, but what was your experience on set like? Obviously, Jamie's directing, the knee.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to say his second name. I did it as well the last time. Lang, this
Langlands, I think.
one. Yeah.
I think I'm
Sorry,
pronouncing
Jamie.
it Langlands. Yeah.
We'll throw it out there.
Gosh.
Jamie's a nice guy. He set this interview up as well.
No,
Um,
he's so lovely. He's been absolutely lovely to work with. There's always really good vibes on set. Um, everyone working on it. So Jamie's been working in film for like years and years and years, and he's an actor as well. Um, and he worked with Reese as well on his short film, The Cellar, and it's going around festivals right now, and it's doing really well. And they're winning like loads of
I've seen it.
awards. Yeah,
Yeah.
did you like it?
Um, it wasn't my. It was shot really well, and
Mm,
I done an interview with oh, I'm gonna butcher her name now. Um, yeah, the name's gone off the top of my head. With the main actress from it. Um,
mm,
but it wasn't my type of horror film.
that's fair.
There is some of that, but like as I said in that interview, I said it was beautifully shot, everything looked great, and
Mm,
I can see why a lot of people are loving it.
yeah.
Um, but there's certain horror films that don't really do it for me in that way.
Well,
So
that's the beauty of film, isn't it? And I
yeah,
like when people can have different opinions. I mean, that I feel like that makes a good film when people are having different opinions about it because you can actually go and debate it and talk about it and what people liked and what people didn't like, and it sparks all of these really interesting conversations.
it does until you touch a nerve on somebody when they love a film and you tell them that it's crap.
Oh, that's true.
Uh,
Well, still film at the end of the day,
which
like
which
not
I
that
say
deep. Yeah.
there's a certain director that fans of the show will know. As soon as he's mentioned to me, I'm like, no, I'm done.
Oh, really?
Game over.
Oh
Uh,
gosh.
I absolutely detest Jordan Peele.
Really?
Oh, his movies are as about as entertaining as watching paint dry.
Well, you didn't like Nope?
No, good lord,
Nope.
it was so bad.
Oh,
Jesus
wow.
Christ, I've never met a director that doesn't know how to finish a film worse than him.
Really?
The third act in every one of his films are absolutely atrocious.
Oh, okay.
I watched Get Out on the plane. I'm going over to Orlando on my honeymoon, and I actually wanted to
Mhm.
walk off the plane. I could have turned it off,
What?
but
You didn't like Get Out either?
I have not liked anything that man has
That
done.
is crazy. Okay,
Get
well, you're the
I
first
sorry,
person I've
I
met.
like I like
Yeah.
his comedy. His comedy was good,
Yes. Oh, his sketches are great.
but no, as a director, no, I'd actually rather watch nothing than
Oh, I see.
and
I think you're the first person I've met that I've
nope
heard say
or
that.
Get Out. I was sitting on the plane and my missus was asking me, she's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "This is fucking off," and she turned off and was like, "I
What?
can't." I was like, "I can't." I'm that type of person. Once I put a film on, I have to finish it.
Yeah.
So I finished it and I sat there going, "My God."
Oh no.
So it took me. Us was out then
Mm.
probably 2 years before I decided to watch that because I liked the
And you
premise
didn't
of it.
like that either.
Nope,
Yeah.
it was better. It
What?
was better than Get Out,
Okay.
but it was
See, I
terrible.
quite enjoy his films.
No,
But
and
again,
then
it's good that like people have different opinions
and
and
then
different
Ted
tastes, and there's always
Ted
something out there for everyone, you know?
Ted, one of our co-hosts, our
Mm.
occasional co-hosts, convinced me. He said Jordan Peele, no, Nope is probably not the Jordan Peele movie you think it is. So I attempted to give that a go, and I was kind of enjoying the first 20 minutes of it,
Mm.
and then
Was
I
that
was
it?
just
Just the first 20 minutes?
that was about it. Yeah,
Oh
but see, the
no.
worst thing is
Yeah.
I love Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh, he's great, isn't he? And Kiki Palmer, she's amazing.
She's just a cheat code of an actress. Uh,
What?
a cheat code. She's just I reckon you could put her as Superman and she'd be great.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, 100%. Like
She's just a cheat code.
she's so versatile and like her energy is just so like you can feel it through the screen.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Mm.
But yeah, I hate him.
Oh gosh.
Like I genuinely hate the man.
Mm. Oh no.
Yeah, that's how bad I think his films are.
Oh
And
gosh.
normally most directors, if I don't like a director, I'll still tend to
Yeah.
watch films because I'll find one that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, not no, I haven't got one yet.
No,
And
it's
see,
this one.
I know he didn't direct the new Candyman, but he produced it, and it felt like a Jordan Peele
Mm.
movie. But that new
Yeah.
Candyman was atrocious.
Candyman, yeah, I think I had really high expectations for it and it didn't quite hit my expectations.
I'm not a
I'm
Candyman
honest.
fan anyway,
Yeah,
but yeah, that new one was atrocious.
yeah. I was
Uh,
a bit disappointed because I had really high expectations for it. Um, but that's always the problem, like going into films with like really high expectations sometimes. Because sometimes if you go in with like low expectations, they exceed them, and you're like, wow, this was amazing. I think for that one, I was like so hyped with like all of the promotion that was out and the trailers. And I was like, oh, this looks so good. And then I watched the film and I was like, ah,
I've tended
I wish I enjoyed this more than I did. But not every film can like hit home with
I'm
everyone.
I'm quite pessimistic going into films now. I'm just like, yeah, this is gonna be shit.
Yeah. Are
And
you?
then I come out and it's like, yes, that was awesome.
Mm,
uh, like most horror films, I go in with that expectation that it's probably gonna be crap,
yeah.
which is unfortunate because a lot of horror films don't hit home now. But when you find the ones that do, you're like, yes.
I know it's like because you always want to enjoy it. You go in wanting to enjoy it, and then you don't always walk out enjoying the film, and it's such a disappointing thing. But you know what? Like I think horror movies will never be as good as when we were watching them as kids, and we are like shit
No,
scared
probably not. Probably
because
not.
like
You know what's coming now. You know what to expect.
you know what to expect. It's not as scary anymore because you know it's not real. But when you're a kid, and your imagination is like running wild, and you're afraid of the dark, and you're like, oh, you haven't seen any of this before, and it's like terrifying. Like you have to watch Winnie the Pooh after watching the film because you're terrified. Like I don't think I'm ever gonna get that feeling again, and it's kind of sad.
But let me put it to you. What was the first horror film you remember watching?
I think so. What me and my friend would do a lot is we'd go on YouTube and watch like short films and stuff. And then
Nice.
what's this short film? It was a lot about The Ring and Samara and like
Not
that
the
whole
American
thing.
Ring.
Huh?
The American version?
We were watching no, we were watching some like short films and stuff that people had made like inspired by it and they were like shit scary and we'd take them and like show them around to our friends and scare them shitless and then somehow still be cool.
Nice.
We somehow still had friends and but yeah, we'd all find like these like scary clips on YouTube and stuff like that and like short films that people had made and just like because I can't remember a specific film from that young because I think we were like 6 when we were doing that.
Oh, YouTube wasn't a thing when I was 6.
Oh.
Yeah, that shows you much
Yeah.
younger than I
Okay,
am.
maybe I was 7. Maybe I was 7.
Still wasn't there when I was 7 either.
Yeah, fair enough.
Uh, no, like I remember but somewhere between 11 and 12, I snuck down the
Mm.
stairs in my parents' house and watched Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
Yeah, so I
be
mean,
scared.
I'd what parts of it. I was like, wow. I was more amazed in things because I'd loved film since I was young. Like I'd watched everything from Jason and the Argonauts in 1960s to like I don't know whatever Gladiator and stuff along the way.
Mm,
But there was that scene in Nightmare on Elm Street, when he's coming down the alley and his arms go out and he's touching
mm.
both sides, and I was like, that's one of
It's
my favorite scenes.
terrifying.
It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite scenes in film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
uh,
I'm gonna need to rewatch that movie now. I'm like, oh, I'm
just
remembering these
just
scenes. So I'm like, I
just
want to watch it again.
just don't watch the 2010 one because that was atrocious.
I don't think I have, to be honest.
Don't.
Just watch the original one.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, no one ever gets my references when I do like
The way I
those
couldn't hear what you did
sounds.
there.
The
Oh,
the sounds he makes from the bush and stuff, and the camera's like creeping, and you just get the like hee ha ha ha, it's like the
well,
whispering.
yeah, he's good, and then it's like there's pop references in that movie that people don't get when you use them, and I'm just like, oh, we
Oh,
can't we can't be friends.
I know it's really disappointing, isn't
Like I,
it?
I I use there's certain quotes from movies that I use all the time, like all the time
Yeah,
in my daily life.
yeah.
Um,
Well, to be fair, I am guilty in not getting a lot of references, and then people tell me, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so dumb.
it's a Starling one.
Exactly. Exactly. Well,
I won't call you dumb though because like whatever about not remembering a character's name that said it.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
um, yeah, like there's certain movies like my parents always told me when I was younger that I'm not to watch Nightmare on Elm Street and I'm not to watch The Exorcist, and I'd
Oh,
watched both by the time I was 12.
yeah, I don't blame you. It's like when they tell you not to do something, it gets even more exciting. You're like, oh, I gotta
Yeah.
watch this film now.
And I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know
Mm.
whatever it did to my parents when they were younger or whatever, but I was like, all right. Um, but I watched them anyway, and they were awesome. Although I'm not a huge fan of possession movies.
Mm.
Um, apart from sort of The Conjuring, like I love what The Exorcist done for horror, and you can appreciate it. It's not
Mm.
one I'm gonna run and stick on though.
No, I got that. I remember one that I watched when I was way too young again. I think I was 6, 7. Now I remember. My babysitter, she was like watching me and she had a couple of friends over and she'd put on like CSI and stuff like that. And I was kind of too young to watch all of like the blood and the murder and stuff. But then one time when she had her friends over, she put on Split. Have you
I
seen
haven't
that
seen it.
one? Oh my God, that terrified the living shit out of me.
Right.
It's
So
these scientists
now
that,
you're showing age here.
oh gosh,
So you
am
say
I?
you were 6 or 7 and you
I think
watched
I was
Split.
7 and they put on Split.
Right. So Split came out in what 2018, 27, 19.
No, 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 Splice. Sorry. It was no, wait, what? Not Split,
Split
not Split, not Split, not Split. No,
Split
no,
is the
no,
one with
not
James
Split.
McAvoy.
Not Split with James McAvoy. No, 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 no. No,
Splice
I
is
love
the
that
two
film
thousand.
though. Love
Splice
Anya Taylor-Joy. It's Splice. It's Splice. I'm saying the wrong
Splice is
film.
2009.
There you
The
go.
one where they mix up all the alien or the animal DNA.
Yes, that's the one I mean, Splice. But you haven't seen Split?
No, up
Oh, you've
until
got to. It's great. The
I I,
acting's amazing in it.
I don't like James McAvoy.
What?
Yeah, sorry. I've got a newfound respect for James McAvoy after watching him in Speak No Evil.
Okay, that's fair. I haven't seen that one.
Oh,
But he is good. You should, if anything, watch Split just for his performances, because like his performance in it, performances,
yeah, I know
or
what it's about. Yeah,
yeah, well, it's amazing how he does it with the characters. So still watch it,
yeah. No,
please.
I am like I occasionally go to do a rewatch of M Night Shyamalan's movies, and then I get to
Yeah,
that, and I'm like, no.
no,
But now I
I got
actually
that.
have a newfound respect for him, having watched him
Mhm.
in that and a couple other films.
I think
Um,
he's really good.
yeah, like all the lads love him as an actor.
Mm.
I'm just like, yeah, I don't like him. Same like I hate Judy Greer for some reason. Like hate Judy Greer. You don't know who
Who
Judy Greer is.
is no?
So do you remember the
Oh,
new Halloween trilogy?
yes.
So the David Gordon Green ones. She was the mother in it. So
Oh,
she was
and you don't like her?
no,
Oh,
like in anything.
yeah.
I detest that woman. I don't know why. She might be a nice person, but I detest her.
Mm.
Yeah, like she was in Jurassic World. Like we went to see Halloween, we went to see Halloween Kills and Ends in the cinema, but when we went to see Kills and she gets killed at the end of it, I was in the cinema and I was like, yes,
Oh God.
fucking yes.
Yeah.
So, but
Mm.
it is what it is, and everyone has their own preferences.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
I
no, but
think
I remember Splice like scared the living shit out of me when I was younger, and that's a movie that's like stuck with me.
I haven't seen it in years, but I remember it being a decent movie.
Yeah, it was just like because the alien like sort of took over and just I don't know, the tail thingy was just
Well,
like it was horrible.
I had Species growing up. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No.
they basically had a really, really good looking actress playing Alien, and she goes around and like every time she has sex with someone, then she ends up killing them.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, this is an awesome movie.
This is an awesome foul. Oh yeah.
I think they made
Yeah.
like five of them.
Oh
They
gosh.
they were decent '90s movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, aliens are awesome.
Yeah.
um, but like, yeah, there are certain films that stick with you, and like, I'll never forget watching. Like, I'm pretty sure I'd watched some horror films before I'd watched Nightmare on Elm Street, but
Oh.
like, that's the one. Like, I have a big Freddy tattoo on my arm,
Well,
and
that's sick.
I have a couple other ones. But
Mm.
before we finish up, obviously it's getting late now as well. Um, throw me your top five horror films.
Five. Okay. Well, number one on the list is Suspiria. I can't remember if it's 60s or 70s. I think it's on the borderline.
76 one, the
It's
original
not,
one, the
is it
Argentina one.
76? I thought it was, yeah, it's Argento.
Yeah,
I thought it was like earlier 70s. Anyway, the Argento one, Argento Suspiria. And then number two,
77 it was.
77. Oh my God. For
It was
some reason, I
close.
keep thinking it's like 72 or something. But yeah,
Did you
no,
see the remake of
that's,
it?
I did actually. I held off for like so many years because I was scared. I
Mia
was
Goth
like,
is awesome.
oh, but Mia Goth is awesome. And honestly, the remake, they didn't try to be anything like the original, and they made it into a new film, and I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed it and think they did such a great job with it. Um, but the original one is obviously the best one. Oh, like, yeah. It's just
Fair
there's
enough.
something special about it because it's so unique. It's more of like an art film almost. I mean, not that
Yeah,
the newer Suspiria wasn't, because it was gorgeous and the lighting and the dancing and the music, but there's something about the original that's just very special to me. So
yeah, it's
yeah,
Argento.
Suspiria.
You do exactly what you were getting.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, I think my second favorite is probably Mother by Aronofsky.
Which one's that? Oh no, that's Mama I'm thinking of. Mother is the one. Is that the one with
It's
the
one with
lady?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Anything with no.
And
uh,
is it Javier Bardem? I don't.
Mother.
Anyway,
I don't know
it's
if I've
really
seen
good.
that.
I mean, it is a Aronofsky film, so it is like one of those films you're watching and you just want to punch the screen and like or like get the character out of the situation they're in. But it's just like, there's something about it which is just so.
Oh, I have seen this one. This is the one with Javier Bardem.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that was very good. Yeah,
Oh, it was so amazing. I wanted to like turn it off the whole time, but I was like, oh my God, it was such a good film.
I'm not sure if I throw it into a horror film myself now, mind you, but it was good. Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
I don't overly think she's an amazing actress.
Oh, I think she's great. She's very versatile. And I know she's like, I guess it's a very basic answer for like, but she's up there with my favorite actresses because she's done so many different things and she fits into so many different parts. And I think Mother, watching that, I saw her do like a type of character that I've not really seen her do before. And I don't know if that's because she hasn't or because I just haven't seen her in something where it's like that.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah,
Two.
that's two. I'm getting really tired right now, to be honest. So my brain's just barely functioning.
That's all right.
But yeah,
We can go with that then. Well, then what I'll do is we'll leave it there, and maybe when the RIP man comes out, we'll get you back on after I have a chance to see it, and we can go through it,
definitely.
and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't be too long into the future anyway.
Yeah, no, the RP Man is set to release this summer.
Well, the summer's
So
just around the corner, really, isn't it?
summer is just around the corner. I'm not sure if it's gonna do a festival run first. I'm assuming it will do. But so it should be hopefully out soon. Yeah.
Nice. Well, hopefully I'll get a chance to see it relatively soon because
Definitely, yeah.
we don't get very many festivals over here. So,
Mm,
and I am too poor to fly to England.
mood.
Oh, yeah. Although I'm going over to For the Love of Horror in October.
Oh, sweet.
in Manchester.
Yeah.
So that's always something to look forward to.
Mm.
Um, but Jasmine, it's been a pleasure to have you on, and obviously it's late in the evening now, so Alexa's already told you to go to bed once.
Oh, she has.
Yeah,
She's been telling me off. Well, it's been lovely to be on. It's been lovely to speak with you.
absolutely, and the same as I said. Once the movie comes out and I get a chance to have a check of it, we're glad love to have you back on and go through it properly when I can actually break it down because obviously there's not much we can do with it right now.
Yeah, at this present moment, yeah.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
Thank you.
So, what I'll do is, Jasmine, do you want to tell the people where they can find you or information
Yeah,
on the RP Man or
100%. I think the best way to follow my work if you're interested is on Instagram. It's just my name, Jasmine Kheen. If you want to follow and support the RIP Man, you can do that at the Indiegogo/RIP Man, where you can find more behind the scenes, more information about all the actors, the cast and crew, more about the story. You can obviously find the short there, and you can also help support the project.
awesome. And as you said, like you can find anywhere if you're looking for anything, you can hit us up and we can steer you in the right direction if you can't find it. But as I said, love to have you back at some stage. And what I'll do is I'll finish this the way I finish every single Friday night, ladies and gentlemen. In the words of the great George A. Romero, stay scared.